Emily had always dreamed of having an unforgettable summer with her friends. At 18, she finally had the chance to travel alone for the first time. Along with her best friends, she decided to spend a week at a paradise beach, where the sun shone brightly, and the sea was a deep blue. The excitement was palpable. They planned to enjoy every moment, from beach parties to strolls through the local shops. As soon as they arrived at their destination, Emily felt free and excited. It was a new chapter in life, away from the routine of school and parents. The first nights were filled with laughter, dancing, and conversations about their dreams and fears for the future. But Emily also felt a slight anxiety. It was the first time she had been away from home for so long, and although she was surrounded by friends, there was a feeling of loneliness that accompanied her. One sunny afternoon, while walking along the beach with her friends, Emily spotted a group of young people playing volleyball. One of them stood out, James, a 25-year-old, handsome, and charismatic guy. He had light brown hair and a smile that lit up his face. Emily couldn't help but notice how he seemed to genuinely enjoy himself with his friends, laughing and joking around. Emily's friends quickly noticed her interest and encouraged her to approach him. With a mix of nervousness and excitement, Emily decided to join the group to play with them. James immediately noticed her presence and started a conversation. The chemistry between them was instant. They laughed together and exchanged glances that made Emily's heart race. As the day went on, Emily found herself more and more attracted to James. He was different from the guys she knew. He was mature, confident, and had an adventurous aura around him. By the end of the day, James invited Emily and her friends to a beach party that night. She eagerly accepted, knowing she wanted to spend more time with him. At the party, the music was loud, and people danced under the stars. Emily was nervous but also excited to be near James. They talked for hours, sharing stories about their lives, dreams, and aspirations. When James pulled her into a dance, Emily felt as if she were floating. He made her feel special. As the night went on, the attraction between them intensified. James leaned in to whisper something in her ear, and Emily felt a shiver run through her body. "You're amazing," he said with a sincere smile on his lips. Emily smiled shyly. She had never received such a sweet compliment before. As the days on the beach went by, their relationship quickly evolved. They spent hours together exploring the coastal town during the day and dancing under the stars at night. Every moment was filled with emotion and discovery. Emily was living something she had always dreamed of experiencing. However, as the days went by and the trip came to an end, emotional conflicts began to resurface in Emily's mind. She knew she was developing deep feelings for James, something she had never felt before, but she was also aware that it was just a summer adventure for him. One magical night, Emily found James at a bar by the beach. The place was illuminated by lanterns hanging from the trees, and the soft sound of music created the perfect romantic atmosphere. They ordered caipirinhas and toasted to life while talking about their future aspirations. "I love this town," James said, looking into her eyes with intensity. "It's full of possibilities." Emily smiled. He was right. But at the same time, while she felt this special connection with James, there was also a pang of guilt in her heart. Meanwhile, her friends were always nearby, observing how she interacted with James. They noticed the chemistry between the two of them and encouraged Emily to enjoy the moment without thinking about the consequences. "It's just a summer," one of them said with a mischievous smile. "Enjoy it. You'll never have another opportunity like this." Emily tried to follow that advice, but the voices in her head started to get louder. The fear of the unknown began to haunt her. She hesitated to give herself fully to this new experience because of the fear of what might happen after the trip. On the last night of the trip, while everyone was at the final beach party, Emily felt torn between wanting to enjoy this last moment with James and the fear of what would happen when they returned home. When they finally arrived at the hotel room that night, alone for the last time, Emily hesitated in front of the closed door. She wanted to be with him. She wanted to make love for the first time in such a magical place as that beach, but she also felt afraid of the unknown. James noticed her hesitation and asked, "Are you okay? You seem worried." Emily hesitated before answering. She wanted to be honest with him about her mixed feelings. "It's just that, it's all so new to me," she finally admitted. "I've never been with someone like this before." The vulnerability in her voice made James smile gently. "I understand," he said softly. "I don't want to rush anything. I just want you to know I'm here." Those words touched Emily's heart deeply. After that sincere moment, they drew closer to each other. The kiss happened naturally. It was soft at first but quickly became more intense as they both surrendered to the passion of the moment. For Emily, it was a transformative experience, her first true kiss. That night was magical. they shared intimate moments under the stars while the waves gently broke on the nearby beach. For Emily, it was more than just losing her virginity. It was an emotional rite of passage that would change her life forever. After that incredible night together, the following days were filled with laughter and promises whispered under the stars as they tried to savor every last second of that magical beach adventure. But when the day of departure came, when they had to say goodbye, reality began to weigh heavily on Emily's shoulders again. She knew she would return home without knowing how her life would be without James by her side. At the airport farewell, both were emotional. Tears streamed down her face as James tried to comfort her. "This isn't the end," he said softly, holding her hands firmly in his. "Promise me we'll stay in touch," she asked, sincerity in her eyes. "Of course," he replied with a sad smile before finally letting go to board his flight. Emily returned home full of conflicting emotion, joy from the incredible experience she had lived, but also sadness over the imminent separation from the man who had awakened something so deep inside her. In the days following her return to her normal routine at home, she struggled with the vivid memories of that unforgettable summer, shared moments, exchanged laughter, promises made under the stars. Emily knew that experience would change her life forever, not just because it was her first sexual experience, but also because she had discovered parts of herself she hadn't known before. And so, she continued her uncertain journey, full of difficult choices ahead. As the weeks passed after her return, Emily tried to move on. However, every time she looked at photos taken during the trip, her heart tightened. She remembered the deep conversations shared by the sea, the passionate looks exchanged under the stars. The messages between her and James became sporadic. Sometimes they exchanged a few words on social media, but nothing compared to the intense connection they had experienced during those magical days. One morning, while having breakfast alone, she received a notification. It was a message from him. Her heart raced as she opened it. "Hi Emily, how are you? I missed those moments on the beach." Her response was immediate. "I'm doing well. I miss you too." Those days were incredible. The conversation flowed naturally, bringing all those emotions she had kept inside to the surface. James talked about how busy he had been with work, but that he still thought about her often. This made Emily's heart race again. The desire for him resurfaced like a powerful wave. But soon came the fear. How could she continue this connection knowing they were in different places? What if it was just an illusion? Emily began to question her feelings. Did she really love James, or was it just nostalgia for that intense experience? It was hard to distinguish between true love and fleeting passion. Meanwhile, Lucas continued to be attentive. He had no idea of the inner conflicts Emily was facing. He planned romantic surprises, took her to special dinners, but nothing seemed as perfect as the time spent on the beach. One evening, during a romantic dinner planned by Lucas, Emily realized how divided she was. While Lucas spoke excitedly about his future plans, she couldn't help but think of James. "Are you thinking about something?" Lucas asked, concerned when he noticed her distant expression. "No. I'm just tired," Emily replied, trying to mask her conflicting feelings. But inside, a growing sense of anguish began to swell. How could she continue living like this? How could she hide this secret from him? The months passed quickly until Lucas's birthday arrived. Emily decided to organize a surprise party for him. As she meticulously planned everything, she felt guilty for not being able to fully commit to the relationship. On the day of the party, everyone was excited. Friends arrived bringing gifts, and laughter echoed through the house. But even surrounded by loved ones, Emily felt alone. Quando Lucas entrò na sala gritando, "Sorpresa, ella sorriu genuinamente, mas logo depois voltou aos pensamentos sobre Felipe. Como poderia continuar assim? Após todos os parabéns e celebrações, Lucas puxu Patricia para dançar. Enquanto rodopiavam juntos no ritmo de música suave, ela tentou esquecer tudo, mas as memórias do verão ainda estavam frescas em sua mente. Você é incrível, Lucas sussurrou enquanto dançavam juntos. Essas palavras trouxeram breve momento de felicidade, mas logo depois veio novamente aquela sensação agridoce. Finalmente chego ao ponto onde precisaria decidir. Seguir adiante com Lucas ou arriscar tudo por aquilo que sentia por Felipe? E assim seguia sua jornada incerta repleta escalas difíceis pela frente. Com o passar dos meses, Patricia começou a perceber como estava mudando internamente. As lembranças de quel verão tornaram-se tanto uma fonte de alegria quanto fardo emocional passado. Enquanto tentava manter seu relacionamento com Lucas saudável e feliz, não conseguia evitar comparar cada momento vivido ao lado dele aos intensos dias passados na praia. Ella decidiu voltar aquila cidade literania durante as férias seguintes, talvez isso ajudasse a clarear seus pensamentos sobre tudo o que aconteceu. Combino enteo uma viagem rápida com algumas amigas, seria bom reviver aqueles momentos mágicos novamente. Ao chegar lá novamente após meses longe, tudo parecia familiar mas diferente ao mesmo tempo. O Cairo do mar invadiu suas narinas enquanto caminhavam pela areia fina. Cada passo trazia memórias vívidas à tona. Durante os primeiros dias de viagem, elas exploraram todos os lugares favoritos, cafés charmosos onde costumavam tomar café de manhã juntos, lojas onde comparam lembranças especiais, mas algo ainda faltava no coração dela. Certa noite decidiram ir a aquele bar onde conheceu Felipe pela primeira vez. Enquanto entravam no local animado replito risadas ecoantes provenientes das mesas lotadas, Patricia hesitou momentaneamente antes de cruzar a porta. Sentou-se numa mesa próxima ao bar esperando ansiosamente pelo atendimento quando avistou alguém familiar do outro lado da sala, era Felipe. Ele estava lá conversando animadamente com amigos como se nada tivesse mudado desde aquele verão mágico. O coração dela disparou instantaneamente, todas as emoções reprimidas voltaram à tona naquele instante. Ele parecia tão bem, cabelos bagunçados pelo vento do mar, sorriso radiante iluminando seu rosto enquanto contava histórias engraçadas aos amigos. Patricia hesitou antes de decidir ir a ele, talvez fosse hora finalmente esclarecer tudo entre eles ou pelo menos dizer olá. Com coragem renovada pelo desejo ardente dentro dela, levantou-se lentamente caminhando onde ele estava sentado. Oi, disse ela timidamente quando chegou perto dele. Os olhos dele brilharam ao reconhecê-la imediatamente. Patricia, que surpresa boa te ver aqui. Eles trocaram abraços calorosos seguidos por sorrisos nervosos. Tudo aquele calor familiar fez seu coração acelerar ainda mais. Conversaram brevemente sobre como estavam desde aquele verão mágico. Ambos pareciam ter seguido caminhos diferentes mas igualmente interessantes. James invited her to join his group at the table. After briefly hesitating, thinking about the consequences, she decided to accept. After all, they were just friends now, right? The conversation flowed naturally between them as they reminisced about the funny moments they had shared on the beach. Every laugh brought to the surface nostalgic memories of that unforgettable summer. But as the night went on, something inside her began to change again. That intense connection seemed to be slowly resurfacing between them. His gaze made her stomach flip again, just like before. When the night finally came to an end after hours of talking together under the soft lights of the bar, illuminated by lanterns hanging from the trees outside, James suggested, "Let's take a walk on the beach. It's so beautiful out there." Emily hesitated for a moment, remembering the promises she had made earlier about keeping her distance from that overwhelming passion. But she couldn't resist his irresistible invitation. As they walked side by side on the fine sand, illuminated only by the light of the full moon reflecting off the soft waves crashing against the nearby shore, she felt alive again. They talked about future dreams as they walked slowly until they reached a deserted part of the beach where they could only hear the soft sounds of the waves crashing behind them. James suddenly stopped, looking deeply into her eyes. "You know, I've thought a lot about us since that summer." Those words made her heart race again. "I have too," she replied honestly, not knowing exactly where this could lead. The atmosphere between them had become electrically charged. And then it happened. Without thinking twice, they leaned in slowly until their lips met in a passionate kiss under the soft lights of the full moon reflecting on the calm waters nearby. It was like reliving all those intense feelings again. Every touch made her skin tingle as memories of that summer flooded her mind. It was impossible to resist. But soon came that inner voice questioning everything. How could she let this happen again? What if it was just another fleeting adventure? Meanwhile, James held her firmly against him, looking deeply into her eyes. "Emily, I really like you." That declaration made her whole being vibrate. "I like you too," she replied without hesitation this time. But soon after, that fear came again. "And now? What do we do?" James smiled lightly. "Let's enjoy this moment, without thinking about the future." Those words brought a momentary relief to her heart. After all, that was exactly what she wanted at that instant. And so they continued on that magical night, filled with silent promises exchanged through intense gazes, while they relived all the emotions they had kept inside them. But when it was finally time to say goodbye again, after a few hours together walking on the beach under the soft lights reflecting on the calm waters nearby, reality began to weigh on her shoulders once more. Emily knew she would go back home not knowing how her life would be without James by her side. And now, she had to decide whether to move on or risk everything again. In the days following her return to her normal routine at home, vivid memories of that unforgettable summer continued to haunt her. Every smile exchanged during those special moments became even more intense now. And so she continued her uncertain journey, filled with difficult choices ahead.